whenever you're ready to start.
Perfect. Hi guys, it's Mary, and today we're going to be talking about stimming and self-regulation. So stimming refers to stimulatory behaviors, whether that be the more well-known for autism, flapping, oral stimulations, spinning around, those sort of things, or what you see with children. You see those fidget spinners or the fidget cubes or other, tactile devices. Like I've got my chainmail cube that my friend made me. It's its own tactile stimulatory device. Or you'll see even neurotypical adults or anyone using things like chewing gum, bobbing their heads, tapping their legs, putting their hands and their fingers together. Those are all forms of self-stimulation or self-regulation, and most, if not every, person engages in them at some point and generally throughout their entire lives. So all behaviors serve a function. These self-stimulatory behaviors, their general function is for comfort or regulation of the body. So in some circumstances, it can be to help know where your body is in space. A lot of people that use the more tactile things, they struggle to know where their hands or their fingers are in relation to each other. Or it can be to help them to focus on a task at hand, because if they're aware, and whether they're aware of why they do it or not, generally by being aware of where everything is for them in relation to everything else, it can help the rest of their body and brain to focus on other tasks at hand, whether that be note-taking, listening to a friend, typing, whatever that task may be. But it can also just be for comfort. For some people, it just helps to calm the brain to be doing something physical. I know kids that even through high school had accommodations to be able to, when they used a break card, so they had laminated paper they'd put up, said break, and it would get acknowledged, and they could go pace the back of the classroom, or they could go walk in the hallway for a minute, and it provided them the needed escape, as well as the ability to move and calm and re-find themselves. So a very common misconception about self-stimulatory behavior, especially those more loud or obnoxious ones that people tend to see less in adults, so those things like flapping, spinning, the oral ones, those unfortunately come across as an annoyance. They think that the person is engaging these behaviors because they're not listening or because they want to irritate or annoy the person they're around. That is seldom, if not never, the case. Now, I'm not gonna say it's never the case because there's someone out there that wants to do it just to annoy you. I totally believe that that's possible, that someone's done it at some point, but most people aren't doing that. For most people, it's for that same comfort or focus, because let's face it, especially if it's a parent or a teacher, they know they're going to get in trouble if they're annoying you on purpose. And hey, we just did a video on empathy. If we have as much empathy generally as the neurotypical population, we have no more want to get in trouble than anyone else. We have no more want to hurt the people that are around us. And that includes causing unnecessary and intentional annoyance or inconvenience to people. But we also have our own needs. And if it takes me flapping or spinning in order to understand what you're saying to me, then I'm going to do that, because that's more important. Because to me, I know that the goal is, if you're talking to me, is to communicate with me. So if I need to flap to be able to do that, I'm going to continue to do that. Now, in a way, this also falls into the point that all of this self-stimulatory behavior is also a form of communication. In some ways, it can be a very good way to communicate that we are starting to get stressed out, or if we're not in a place where we can regulate. So it can give a caregiver or a professional a good reason to help check in on an individual, maybe provide them some supports if they need that to help them to regulate, whether on their own, and giving them the space to do what they need, or if you need to get involved to help them maybe do that in a way that's more acceptable in the community. Unfortunately, as much as I would love for everyone to be able to stim exactly how they'd like to, if you put someone with an oral stim in a classroom, they're going to consistently get in trouble. It's not their fault, it's the way a classroom works. If you're continually interrupting the teacher, you're going to get in trouble. So with that brings me to kind of the last point I want to get across, which is you're never going to successfully take away someone's stimulatory behavior. If they're self-stimming for comfort and focus, and you try to take that away, they're going to find something else. And it's probably going to result in some form of meltdown. Understandably, because they're communicating a need to you. But that doesn't mean we can't adjust how people stim. If we are in a place that's maybe too crowded and, you're going to Disney World or Universal and you're going to be in packed lines and, someone likes to flap all the way up and down and they're going to hurt someone doing that, then we can adjust that behavior. Whether that we work on flapping lower, we work on another behavior, we use a tactile, we use an oral, whatever it is, we can adjust and we can work with our friends and other people with autism and neurotypicals too to find appropriate self-stimulatory behaviors, but never try to take that from someone. Mostly because you'll be completely unsuccessful in doing so. But also it's just not fair and not right. Everyone has the opportunity to do so, neurotypical, neurodiverse. It's just how. So let's help our friends to be able to do it appropriately and to give them the best chances at independence and at fitting in their own way. I never want to make someone conform, but to make sure that they're doing everything in a way that is safe for themselves and for others. So we can help them adjust to do that, but never take away what they need to be themselves and to be happy and to feel safe. So either way, feel free to ask any questions down in the comments. So happy to have more people subscribe. Feel free to recommend it to other people. And hopefully we will see you guys soon for the next video. Bye!